Urine of the victim who was believed to be bewitched. Sorry. Imagine having that job. Hello, and welcome to Folklore Friday, where I go over the world's myths, legends, and superstitions. Here is the menu with today's topics and their minute markers. So if you don't want to watch the whole video, you can skip right to what you want to hear. Today I will be going over folkloric objects that you've probably heard of, but may not know the historical significance of why you have heard of them. If you've heard any story of vampires, you've most likely heard that the only way to kill one is with a wooden stake. The concept of staking began with the idea that if a corpse was nailed to their coffin, it would prevent them from rising from the grave after fully transforming into a vampire. Archaeologists have discovered numerous graves with sometimes multiple stakes in a corpse. The thought that somebody could rise from the grave was probably due to a lack of understanding of rigor mortis, which is something that happens after a body has been dead for a few hours. The muscles and the joints will stiffen. This sometimes causes the body to move and contort into odd positions. It sounded like a corpse was moving in their grave. And if the coffin was opened and it appeared that a dead body had moved, it was easy to gain a belief of the undead. The purpose of using wood was because it was easily affordable and accessible to most people. The task of staking the corpse to the coffin was the responsibility of the family members of the deceased. Imagine having that job. Okay, Grandma, thanks for all the good times. I'm so sorry I have to do this. Oh my God, can you imagine? The silver bullet is believed to be the one thing that can kill a werewolf. This originated from one hunter who claimed to kill a werewolf with bullets he made himself out of silver. In Gévaudan, France, from 1764 to 1767, there was a number of wolf attacks to the village. The people of the village thought it was the doing of one supernatural wolf, or in other words, a werewolf, and they called it the Beast of Gévaudan. Multiple hunting parties searched for the beast, and a few wolves were killed, but the attacks kept happening. There was one hunter, a man named Jean Chastil, who was haunted by these attacks, and he went to the woods by himself with bullets he made with a combination of silver and buckshot. He returned with an allegedly 130-pound wolf that he brought to the royal court. And after that, the wolf attacks stopped. This 3-year battle of fear and bloodshed ceased. Since then, the legend of the silver bullet is used in werewolf folklore, including modern literature, television, and film. Wolfsbane, also known as monk's hood, is an herb often grown as an ornamental plant due to its attractive blue to dark purple flowers. All parts of the plant, especially the roots, contain toxins. It was believed to protect from werewolves and vampires. One belief was that if one wears wolfsbane around the neck or hangs it on the doors of the home, any supernatural creature cannot enter. Wolfsbane was often used in animal traps to repel wolves and other wildlife to stay away from livestock. If ingested by humans, it can be lethal in large amounts, although it's very, very pretty. Salt is used in multiple cultures to protect from evil. This could be because it is globally used as a purifier in different ways. It is used to cure meat. Also, wounds can be cleaned with salt water. Different practices of salt to protect from evil include using a line of salt at the doorway of a home, using a circle of salt, for any of you that have seen Hocus Pocus, carrying salt in a small bag on a long journey, testing to see if someone is a witch or not. And one that is commonly used today is the practice of tossing salt over your left shoulder after spilling salt at the table. Throwing salt over your left shoulder is believed to blind the devil on your shoulder. Everyone has an angel on your right shoulder and a devil on your left. Witch bottles. There was a time that it was commonly thought of that evil spirits, witches, spells, and sorcery were everyday threats. Therefore, people had different practices to keep themselves and those that they loved safe. One of these was the use of a witch bottle. It was believed that witch bottles could trap the magic of a witch, the ill intentions of a witch, or the witch herself. They were small, round bottles, sometimes decorated with holy symbols or family crests. A healer or a witch can create a witch bottle. Now that makes it more interesting for storytelling purposes. Some of the earlier ingredients would include urine of the victim believed to be bewitched. I'm sorry. Really hard to say that, seriously. Urine of the victim. How would one do that in a non-messy manner? So I've got the bottle. How do I do this? You had all those skirts and stuff. Woo! Must have been a challenge. Tricky. Also, their nail clippings and various herbs. Later versions included rosemary wine and pins. According to legend, the evil spirit would drown in the wine, become impaled on the pin, and be carried away of the scent of rosemary. After that, the power would be trapped in the bottle and it was either thrown into the fire, killing the witch, buried in a place that would not be disturbed by trapping or binding the witch or her powers, or, this is my favorite because it's the most risky in my opinion, the bottle was kept in the house in a safe place to keep the threat at bay. I'm sorry, what kind of safe place? You can just imagine one of those getting knocked over and everyone freaking out. It's funny to think about. Well, I'm a pretty clumsy individual. I can't imagine I'd be a great house guest because I would most likely break one of those things. So good thing I live nowadays. Oh, that would happen to me. So if you ever find a concealed witch bottle, it may be best to leave it where you found it and definitely not open it. Or you should open it. It might be fun. See what happens. If you liked this video and you want a more in-depth look at superstitions and folklore behind practices like this, check out my podcast, Folklore Friday. Episode 1, where I take a deeper look at these objects and rituals, plus a few more. Voodoo dolls, shrunken heads, haunted paintings, the Codex Gigas, and the list goes on. Is there some folklore that you would like to learn more about? Is there a particular monster that you would like to learn more about? Please comment. I love researching, especially when someone has requested it. You know, I asked my brother this recently, and before the sentence left my mouth, and I said, hey, is there a monster you'd like to learn more about? He cut me off and he was like, Minotaurs. And it was the funniest thing because no one just has an answer ready for that question, but that's my brother for you. It was hilarious. So who knows, maybe in a couple episodes I'll do one focused on Minotaurs because I can tell you I definitely know nothing about them. So that would be fun to learn. And as always, all the references to this information on these objects can be found in the description below. I never post anything without researching it and cross-referencing my sources. Meaning you can't just look things up on Wikipedia alone, which I rarely do. When it comes to the internet, you never can be too careful, and I want to make sure I'm giving you the correct information. Thank you so much for watching my video. I post every other Friday, a video on YouTube, and I upload a podcast. I hope to see you next time on Folklore Friday. Toodaloo! Some of the earlier, oh my god, urine of the victim who was believed to be bewitched. Sorry. After a body, it's over your left shoulder. I mean, but that would, throwing salt supernatural warf. Then I'd be hexed. Urine of the victim. Most definitely. After that, the witch bottle would... What did I write?